Well, something is brewing, and I believe many of us can feel it. As you know, Donald Trump is going to be giving his State of the Union address tonight, February 24th. And what is weird about this address, as opposed to any other, is the fact that 30 to 50 Democrats plan on not attending. By the way, just to give you an idea of a number of people who don't normally attend, either Republican or Democrat, it's usually 0 to 5 people outside of Donald Trump's first administration, right? I think it was 14 then, but now to have over 30 to 50 Democrats not in attendance, this is unheard of, unlike I have ever seen before. And I can't help but shake this feeling that maybe the Democrats know something that we don't. In fact, Donald Trump made a bombshell statement the other day that just really sets me on edge because I worry for the president of the United States. And I'm going to share all of that in today's broadcast. But that's the thing. I believe there's more to the story, and the Democrats have an in on it. But here's what I want to start with. This is on C-SPAN, right? We all know the State of the Union address is happening tonight. Kind of what he's going to be talking about, according to the sources here, is immigration enforcement, the killing of U.S. citizens by federal ICE agents, voters' concerns, economic policies, affordability crisis, the Supreme Court, and tariffs. So this is what is on the agenda. And by the way, the Democrats have no right just not to go, in my opinion. It is one of the stupidest things I have ever seen. But again, I do believe there is a lot more to the story than they're letting on. Now, before I move on, I got to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Look, something is brewing and you can feel it right now. The problem, well, you never know the full story until it's too late. After the crash, after the collapse, after everything's happened. And here's the brutal truth. You can't protect yourself after. So you have to be ready right now. And all of this uncertainty, the chaos, the warning signs, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's just noise, but maybe it is literally the beginning of something bigger. Well, nobody knows for sure, but why wait to find out? You know, that's exactly how people get hurt. Physical gold and silver aren't just investments. They are preparation. They are the very foundation of real protection. And right now, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have been helping Americans protect themselves for nearly a decade. And they are not about any pressure, no gimmicks at all, just proven insight when it matters. I really want to encourage you to talk to them right now. Look, you're either prepared or you're not prepared. Which one will you be when everything happens and it changes overnight? That's why I want to encourage you. Give them a call right now at 1-877-646-5347 and let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven, because right now they are giving away this amazing 3-ounce silver virtue coin with any new or approved plan. It's absolutely awesome. One of my favorite things. But make sure you mention my name when you do call them, or go to lisahavengold.com and fill out this information, and they're going to send you a free wealth protection kit. So that's lisahavengold.com if you want to check it out. But remember, I want you to be prepared rather than panic when all the crap hits the fan. And Noble Gold Investments can definitely do that for you. But with that, I wanted to tell you, there's always a risk to investing. There's never a guarantee. If you want more information, click that more button or click the link in the description box below. All right, so let's dive into the games that the Democrats are now playing with the State of the Union address. I can't stand Democrats. Anyway, here it is, the Hill. Democrats prepare to protest Trump's State of the Union. Here's what you should know about it. Democrats are preparing a show of defiance during President Trump's State of the Union address on Tuesday, with some skipping the speech entirely, others attending counter events, and many bringing guests to highlight the real-world impact of the administration's policies. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has strictly advised his caucus to either attend the address in silent defiance or take part in alternative programming. In other words, he is telling all the Democrats, if you so happen to attend, then don't say anything. You're not allowed to talk whatsoever. It's rather extreme. But it goes on. Several Democrats are opting to skip Trump's speech and instead head to the counter rally dubbed the People's State of the Union, which begins around 8 p.m. on the National Mall. The event is hosted by radical left, I'm adding that, liberal activist groups, including Move On Civic Action. In other words, all their big donors, right? This is where they are headed. It goes on to list all of the Democrats that are going to be attending that one, right? You can see their names there, read them for yourself. But here's the deal. What's interesting is the Democrats don't even agree what liberal activist group they should attend because there's two of them, right? Other Democrats will be attending a different counter event called State of the Swamp at the National Press Club that will start shortly before Trump's speech. Some lawmakers are considering attending the event for a brief period and then attending the State of the Union afterwards. And here's those ones that are openly talking about that. So again, the two groups can't even agree, right, which liberal activists to support. But it goes on. Other Democrats are also planning to skip this year's speech, including representatives, all you see there. They're the ones that are saying, oh, we're not going to go at all. Just F Donald J. Trump. And then, of course, you got the ones who will attend, but they plan on wearing white, you know, in order to stand for women's rights and their ability to vote, which is BS, right? I hate the Democrats and this whole idea. They're saying, oh, women don't know how to get a driver's license. So, you know, we're going to wear white in solidarity because, you know, women don't know how to get a driver's license. Go F yourself for all I say. You know, we're not stupid. But yet when these Democrats vote in their congressional hearings or whatever, they have to use ID, kind of a poke at women, needless to say. But here's the deal. What's interesting is this is an unprecedented a number of Democrats who are not attending. It is not normal, by the way, for these Democrats not to do that. And so the question that I have to ask is, why are so many skipping? Is there something more to the story? But let me show you this. I put this in Grok. I said, how many Democrats, and it gave me both, by the way, but how many Democrats normally skip the State of the Union address? Normally, very few of members of Congress from either party skip the State of the Union address. Attendance is typically near universal for such a high-profile joint session of Congress, with only occasional absences due to illness, scheduling conflicts, or personal reason, often in the low single digits or none at all for most years. Boycotts or deliberate skips are rare and usually tied to strong political opposition, particularly when the president is from an opposing party. Here's an example. In 2018, the last time Trump was president, 14 Democrats announced plans to skip, right? Larger than any boycott they had had at the time. Over the years, there's been some others, but none of the numbers reach, right? None of the numbers reach. In contrast, the current context, the State of the Union address that's scheduled today shows an unusual high number of Dems planning to skip. Some sources cite at least a dozen to 20 plus boycotts. And then, estimated range are from anywhere from 32 to around 50 Democrats who are opting out. Wow. This is not normal compared to history at all whatsoever. Overall, normally, only 0 to 5 members might be absent for routine reasons. Lucy, that got me thinking. Well, as you know, they always pick a designated survivor for these events, and the Democrats already got theirs. And this is on Mike Thompson's House.gov. Thompson calls out president's unlawful action, announces that he's been selected as designated survivor for the 2026 State of the Union. Representative Mike Thompson announced he was selected by Hakeem Jeffries as the designated survivor. So they already picked their person to survive. What on earth is going on, right? And I believe there's, I don't know, hope to God nothing happens, but to have an unprecedented amount of Democrats not attend, 30 to 50, one really has to ask yourself, is it really because it's just Donald J. Trump? I guess ultimately you get to decide. But what is chilling is what Donald Trump said just the other day regarding his life. And I want you to listen because I want you to hear it for yourself. Take a watch.
We have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have the most activity we've ever had. I'm making a speech tomorrow night, and you'll be hearing me say that. I mean, it's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about. But Americans like Lakin and Grant and Javier and Joshua, Rocky, Rachel, Kayla, these are great people, and we're never going to forget them. I'll never forget them. I don't know how long I'll be around. Got a lot of people gunning for me, don't I, huh? But
I don't know how long I'll be around. I've got a lot of people gunning for me. I mean, obviously he does. This just happened, right? This is on AP. Armed man shot and killed after entering secure perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, Secret Service says. Thank God Donald Trump and Melania weren't there, right? But Donald Trump does have a big target on his back. And now we've got a bunch of Democrats. And look, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not saying anything is going to happen at all. I don't think it will, if I'm being honest. I always err on that side. But what could be the reason that these Democrats are not attending? And I believe Bill O'Reilly has the answer, and I wholeheartedly agree that this is the real reason they're not coming. Take a listen to what he says here, and this was shared on Overton on the X page, but take a listen to what Bill O'Reilly says.
What's your over-under on the number of Democrats who stand up and applaud Team USA?
Which will be
all of them that are there, because the real radicals are not going to be there. So the radical left in the House are 100% dependent on radical left money. So they're not really people with an independent point of view on anything. They do what they're told. And they were told to get out of the mall and do another State of the Union, the People's State of the Union, whatever stupid thing they came up with. So they're not going to be there. All of these bomb throwers, Trump haters. The other Democrats have to stand. They would hurt themselves dramatically if they don't.
He is spot on. They're doing that because they are literally taking marching orders from their radical left donors. Their radical left donor says, you're not attending Donald Trump's thing. You're going to go here, or we're not going to give you money. That's my opinion of what I believe is happening. And there they go. Now, if something was going to happen, I would assume no Democrats would be there. So I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. But either way, Donald Trump should rightfully fear for his life. He's had 3 attempts on his life already, actually 4 or 5. And then if you take Iran and threats there, he's got a lot more. But here's the deal. It really shows these 30 to 50 Democrats who are not attending, it shows who they're beholden to. And it's not to the American people. It's not to you. It is to the big money donors that tell them how to think, what to do, and how to vote. This is why they've gotten in such a bad place. And even Democrats know it. So they're not even there to care about you, because historically speaking, Democrats attended whether they like the dang president or not. There's nothing and no reason for them not to attend. Donald Trump hasn't done anything different than any other president except for try to make us more free. And for that, they're going to go behold to their donors, which are likely a lot of the top 1%ers, the international body group, right? NWO, right? That group of people who are telling them, we want to be in control. We want to be in charge. And Donald Trump is effing it up for all of us who do not attend. So it really shows who they're actually beholden to. And if you're a Democrat, you should really wake up to that fact, because Republicans haven't been skipping the State of the Union for some big money donor. You are taking marching orders. And they say F you to the American people. They are 100% dependent on the radical left's money. Because even the American people don't donate at the level, because don't donate to them at that level, because they know they're just full of it. Literally. Anyhow, want to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns on this whole thing. I love you all. Thank you again so much for being here. But with that, I'm Lisa Haven signing out.